Dark Souls 3, a masterpiece on release, but after a decade, does it still hold up? Yo, my name is Lucky Puppy, your Luck Dragon VTuber, and join me as we answer if Dark Souls 3 is the peak that we remember after 10 years. And if you like this type of content, remember to leave a like, Ashen One, and
please subscribe to Lucky Puppy.
Dark Souls 3, a masterpiece that ages like fine wine. But let's give it its fair assessment, starting with gameplay. More specifically, the combat still holds up and is pretty fluid, mostly. Mapping of buttons is still solid, even if From Software, the makers of Dark Souls, play musical chairs with what is the two-handed command. The bosses are all memorable and varied, with some having gimmicks and others being a Reddit mod for Vor, don't look that up. All of this going on while the animations shine from the varied weapon types to the schwanky magic effects. Plus, all the weapons have some type of relevance/purpose in the game, along with juicy lore drops that feed you the story. Now, it's not all roses, as the camera is slightly worse in Dark Souls 3 compared to Elden Ring, okay? That and the difficulty feels easier than Elden Ring. But then again, you don't need to roll 5 miles away to dodge large delay-based attacks that Elden Ring loves to do before you can get back in there and slap the boss some more. Speaking of rolling, let's go ahead and talk about where you'll be rolling. The locations. Stunning, albeit a bit jagged from the age, but they still hold up really great and are fun to move through and take in. Not to mention the handcrafted level design is far superior than the open world one, where not only are you encouraged to explore still, but rewarded far more often with loot that has purpose. Looking at you, Elden Ring crafting materials. Many players often have a favorite zone, as the game does provide some tranquil spots within its violent journey, such as Irithyll of the Boreal Valley, or my favorite, Kiln of the First Flame at the end of the game. Plus, with each place having a separate feeling and background track, no two places feel the same. You can tell when you're in each locale, and each one provides a separate experience, but after 10 years, it does begin to show its age, specifically in the systems department. Summoning can be a bit jank, and the lock-on system works as long as you're close enough to get about 2 rolls close. Leveling and upgrading is almost perfect, but Elden Ring's ball-bearing system is still better, especially compared when having to hope that a specific piece of loot drops that's an upgrade material like Smithing Stone +5. The rest of the systems are pretty much identical to Elden Ring, which worked perfectly fine and had no issues. I will say that the sound systems are perfect. The menu music and menu navigation, ticks, and the effects and other audio pieces are still as crisp as when they were printed on the disc. Which leads to the next part, the trophies, which thank God they're all still super solid and unchanged. They're all still available too. Although, due to PvP population numbers, many of you will remember or get PTSD from these stairs. Have fun 1v1ing NPCs for years as your health ticks away like a crackhead. A con though is that the in-game universe for Dark Souls 3 does sometimes feel small compared to the open world of Elden Ring, as it feels so expansive in Elden Ring. But worry not, factions are a thing here and provide fun spells and weapons for engaging with them. But be ready for lots of collecting and playthroughs. Like for the Master of Rings trophy, get ready, as that's at least 3 playthroughs, with careful map navigation to grab each one. I strongly recommend a guide if that is what you want to do. That and the endings. Like, I already messed up mine 2 or 3 times, and especially the one where you have to go and get married. That is the easiest one to mess up. And then finally, the theme/universe. It's the best in the Soul series, tied with Bloodborne, okay? The vision of the world is fully realized here, with it being perfected over 3 iterations of Dark Souls. The world feels lived in, bleak, and on edge. The cast of characters across the Dark Souls franchise is varied and unique, and when a new one is added, I'm eager to see what it adds to the universe. Even the small ones like Yoel of Lundor contribute to the larger narrative in a meaningful way. And the verdict is, the rating of this game is that it belongs on top, with legends such as Left 4 Dead 2, Skyrim, and Halo. It's truly a 10 out of 10. Go play it or platinum hunt it. It holds really well, even if the multiplayer numbers are low. This title specifically has a great co-op that makes the playthrough a lot more memorable with friends. Plus multiple endings, NPCs have full separate storylines that interweave with the narrative, and tons of build variety while keeping the gameplay loop concise and clean. Even after this review, this game will continue to age pretty well despite the graphics getting a little more edgy and rough by the day. Thanks so much for watching. Was I right in the 10-year retrospective, or has the game gone hollow? You tell me in the comments below. And if you want to see more, you can go ahead and see me at twitch.tv/luckypuppy, where I live stream. See you there!